welcome back to my craft room. I am so glad that you could join me. I wanted to share with you what I have stuffed in my bag this weekend. Literally, my backpack, which it's kind of light and empty right now, but this thing all weekend long has been so heavy that it hurt my shoulder to carry it back and forth. Now, it wasn't just yarn stuff, but there was plenty of yarn stuff in there, trust me. I also had the iPad, and I had a Kindle that I found that I forgot that I had. It came out of a storage unit, which it's old enough, it's only good for reading. So I've been reading a book over the weekend as well as working on all of these things that I'm about to show you. And it had my iPhone, which is not good for much of all, except, playing on social media and watching YouTube videos and some Pluto TV and stuff like that. So, yes, quite the adventure this weekend for my backpack and for my shoulder. But anyway, if you have been watching, I have been working on a Tunisian sampler stitch blanket, and I will make sure and have the link for that down in the description box for you guys if you want to go check it out. But I have finished the first two squares that I've showed you previously. The first one was a simple stitch. The second one was the full stitch. Let me grab those real quick. Just roll over here and grab those real quick. This was the first square, which is just a simple stitch. And I'm doing these in like brown colors, like lodge colors. I don't know, just because. But this was the first one, the simple stitch. And the second one I chose to do in two different colors instead of one, because it is the full stitch. And I honestly believe that the full stitch is easier with two colors. That way you know where to make your first stitch depending on the color. Anyway, but there's the first two squares that I had finished. I have the third square finished and the fourth square almost finished. Now the first several squares on this are stitches that I'm already familiar with. So that's why they're going so quickly. The next square that I did is the Tunisian purl stitch, and this is actually how it finally clicked for me with the actual purl stitch with knitting needles. Pardon me, because I just could not understand how that yarn in the front and pulling it through would work with knitting needles. But like I said, this actually helped me comprehend and understand how that stitch would actually work with knitting needles, doing it with a Tunisian crochet hook. So this one's a little wonky because I definitely have tension issues with the purl stitch. As you can see, it's anyway, I think that no, it has to go this way. So yeah, there we go. And I don't know which is the bottom and which is the top, but yes, I definitely have tension issues with the Tunisian purl stitch because this corner is way down here and it's wonky, and no, I'm not going to block it. But that's what the Tunisian purl stitch looks like, in case you're interested. It basically looks like the purl stitch with knitting needles. And if you're interested, that's what the back of it looks like. Basically like the back of a actual knitted project. But this was done with a crochet hook. Pretty cool. So I got that one finished. I will add this up here with number 1 and 2. Now we have 3 done. And then I was working on the 4th one, which is the Tunisian knit stitch. I was using this darker brown yarn. I don't know what color this is, but it is brown and it is red heart. I don't know what else I would do with it. So I think I have about 5 or 6 or 7 rows. I think that's what I told you last time, but I think I was wrong because I think I've showed you this in the last few days, but I have done a few more rows since then. But this is what I have so far. This is the knit stitch, and this was actually done with a crochet hook. If you can see, it does look like it was knitted, but it was not. It was done with a crochet hook. Here's the back side of it so far, in case you wanted to know. Looks like the back side of a knitted project. And I am using this aluminum 8mm hook. You can actually see that this time. Woohoo! But this is the biggest aluminum hook that I have. I started this with one of my bamboo hooks, and it was just, I could not. It was not working for me at all. So I have a few more rows still left on this one to do, because I had so many things going this weekend with all the projects that I was starting and working on, plus reading my book and being busy. I almost got it, but I got distracted and didn't. Well, I'm going to stick that back in the bag because I definitely want to try and finish that this week. Now the next project that I'm going to show you is another one that you've already seen. This is my Waldo hat. I have made a little bit more progress. I almost frogged it. I was like this close to frogging it, but I didn't. I want to finish my Waldo hat. I think the last time you guys seen this, it was just, I had like 2 or 3 rows, maybe 4 rows of the second white stripe, I think. But I got another stripe on there, and I started into the next round of the white. And it's interesting, this is going to make it easier because each stripe is basically an inch tall. And I know I need 6 inches before I start my decrease. So I know when I've got 6 stripes, you know, 1, 2, 3, I've got, the white will be number 4. Then it's time to think about starting that decrease. So that makes it a lot easier for me. My brain won't have to think how many more after every row, you know, measuring it. So I'm really excited about that. I will finish it, I promise. The hat will get finished. And it is still stuck. I stuck it in this unicorn bag. The Tunisian one is just in the bag. But the hat is living in this unicorn bag. I'm going to put that back in my backpack. The next project that I started, and I'm not real sure about this one. I don't know if I'm going to keep it or if I'm going to frog it. But I was using some of this blue yarn. It's Red Heart, and my Addie does not like it. So I'm trying to use stuff that I know my Addie doesn't like. And I found this funky, weird, it's a size H crochet hook. And I don't know what brand it is, but it was made in the USA. This is one that I've had forever. I think it might have been my mom's or my grandma's. But I started a scarf. And I kind of like it, but I kind of don't. That's why I'm not sure I'm going to finish it. But this is what I have. It's nothing fancy. It's just I did a row of double crochets. And then on my return, I did front post, just front post and then regular, front post, regular. And then on the return row, it's just the opposite. The front post is where the regular was, and the regular is where the front post was. So it gives it a unique, interesting texture, I thought. And that's on both sides. But I don't know if I'll finish it or not. I haven't totally decided. And I just pulled out a stitch. Oh well. I'll fix it here real quick. I haven't totally decided if I'm going to finish it or not. It's one of those projects that make you go, because I was kind of experimenting, but it still kind of looks cool. And I do have too many stitches on one end, so it goes regular, instead of regular front post, but nobody's gonna know. And what I was doing with this was I was in the process of making a scarf. I was watching Lottie, Cancer's a Lifestyle. I will put, I think that's Enjoying the Journey, something like that. I will put a link to her vlog, YouTube channel down in the description. She also does stuff for charity, and she is getting ready to donate some hats and scarves. And I thought that was a cool idea, adding the scarves with the hats. Now, I have never thought of that. So, I'm going to dub this Preschool Project 2022. And I'm going to try and have a hat and a scarf. So 100 hats and 100 scarves. Is that not a huge challenge for 2022? That's why I'm getting started earlier. But anyway, I got this. I'm not real sure whether I'm going to keep going on that or not. I will let you guys know. But it is hanging out in this tie-dye bag. And the last project, I'll go ahead and stick it in my backpack too. The last project that I have, I thought sure I could make Addie like my Caron 1 pounds. I even tried again, but Addie just flat out refuses. So I grabbed this one. This is a Royal. Yeah, Royalty is what it's called. And I found a stitch online. I think it's called the Star Stitch, but I can't remember now. But I will put a link to the video that I watched down in the description on how to do it. So this is another scarf idea that I absolutely love the pattern on this. It is absolutely beautiful. I love it. And it's not as hard as it looks. I thought, oh my gosh, I could never do that. I watched a couple different videos trying to figure out how to do this. And this is actually one that does not have the holes in it, which I thought looked a lot better. It's more solid, and I think it'd be a little warmer than something that's lacy. So I will definitely put a link to the video for this one down in the description box as well. So that's what I've been working on this weekend. How about you? What have you been working on this past weekend? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you haven't, go check out my thankfulness challenge, which goes right along with leaving the comment below. I will leave a link to that one as well. And check back with me right back here in the craft room for my next video.